Hello my dear students, I warmly welcome you to CR's digital classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss one of the important theorem based on the permutations. This theorem has asked in the 2022 June-July question paper, 4th semester algebra. So see the statement of the theorem. So prove that every permutation of a finite set can be expressed as a cycle or as a product of disjoint cycles. Okay, so I will explain the statement first of all. In the statement, he is clearly mentioning that every permutation, basically permutation we can write in this format. For example, alpha is equal to, you can write 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1. This is the permutation, okay, of degree 4. This permutation of a finite set means 1 2 3 up to some small n, can be expressed as a cycle. This is the permutation. This permutation can be expressed as a cycle, that means 1 4 3 2 in this format. This is the cycle representation. Or else as a product of disjoint cycles, okay, if that cycle does not end, okay, then you can represent it is in the one cycle. If that product have some discontinuities, that means you can write more than two cycles. In the previous lectures we have seen those types of disjoint cycles only. Okay, now this is the standard theorem in permutation. Here you can experience the beauty of algebra in permutations. So let enter into the proof. Given capital A be a finite set, that finite set I am taking as capital A is equal to 1 2 3 up to some small n. Here total number of the set is equal to small n, that is called order. So therefore order of capital A is equal to finite, that finite is equal to small n. Okay, whenever you will get the finite word, you have to trivially or blindly you have to remember that small n. Okay, so that finite is nothing but it is able to count. We can able to count the total number of the elements. Next, now I am taking one permutation. Why? Because in the theorem statement he is asking every permutation. I am not taking every permutation. First of all, I am taking one permutation. That permutation is alpha. Alpha be a permutation on a set capital A. Now after taking the permutation, in that permutation elements will be there now. So therefore now I am taking A1 be an element of capital A. Okay, that is A1 belongs to capital A. Okay, so this A1 not belongs to alpha, this A1 belongs to A. Okay, so 1 2 3 up to some small n. Out of those elements I am taking A1. Why? Because we are going to discuss this theorem in the general format. Instead of taking 1 2 3, we are going to take A1 B1 C1 D1 up to so on. Okay, you have to believe what I explained because this is the pure algebra theorem. So therefore A1 belongs to capital A, then the second element A2 is obtained by this formula. A suffix ik plus 1 is equal to alpha of A suffix ik. Okay, so therefore A suffix ik plus 1 is equal to alpha of A suffix ik. This is the standard formula to get the elements of the capital A, that is given as equation star. Here I suffix I into k is equal to 1. I into k represents the number 1. And if you add plus 1 on both sides, you will get I into k plus 1 is equal to 2. Then by equation star, that is only from this equation, the second element, here we discuss now, the second element is obtained by, second element is A2. A2 is equal to, according to this formula, A2 you can write A1 plus 1. What is the 1? I suffix k. I suffix k plus 1. Okay, this 1 represents to this ik plus 1 and this one represents to this one. Okay, so A1 plus 1 is equal to A2. A2 is equal to alpha of A1. Alpha of A1. Why? Because alpha of A1 means alpha of A suffix ik. So therefore A2 is equal to alpha of A1, that is taken as equation number 1. Okay, just remember this value. Next, similarly say a third element A3. A3 also you will get by equation star alpha of A2. What is the A2 from equation number 1? Alpha of A1. Alpha into alpha you will get alpha square into A1. So therefore that is the A3 value. Next, fourth element A4. Similarly you can write alpha power 3 into A1. Okay, so no need to prove that step by step. You can write directly A suffix 4 is equal to alpha power 3 into A1. You get A suffix 5, A suffix 6, A suffix 7 up to some A suffix n. You will get in this format. Okay, if you observe carefully, in each and every element alpha is the common word. Okay, alpha, alpha square, alpha cube up to so on. So therefore To proceed in this format, the obtained sequence will be of the form A1. First element will be A1. Second element is A2. That A2 is alpha of A1. Third element is A3. A3 you can write alpha square of A1. Fourth element is A4, alpha cube of A1. Okay, instead of A1, A2, I am writing those alpha forms. So therefore, here in the A1, alpha is also there, alpha power 0. Here nothing is there, alpha power 0 is 1. 1 into A1, A1. That 1 you can write alpha power 0. Therefore, the above sequence is a finite sequence. This total sequence is a finite sequence. Why? Because here A1, A2 belongs to capital A. Capital A is a finite set. Then the elements formed by A1, A2 also it is a finite set. So therefore, the above sequence is a finite set. Why? Because capital A is finite. Okay, capital A is finite. Now you can see here. Now I am writing all the elements. Okay, all the elements have in this format. I am writing the general formula of above discussion. A1 is equal to alpha power m into A1. A1 is equal to alpha power m into A1 for some m less than or equal to n. So therefore, if you take now after getting this equation number 2, this is the standard equation for the elements of capital A. Now after getting equation number 2, so we are going to prove this theorem in two cases. Okay, case 1, if you take m is equal to n. Okay, if you take m is equal to n in equation number 2, then there is no repetition. That means m is equal to n means you can write a suffix 1 is equal to alpha power 0. Okay, A1. That is the first element. A1 is equal to A1. If you take m is equal to n in equation number 2, there is no repetition. So therefore, you can write A1 is equal to A2. Next for A2 you can write alpha of A1. A3 is equal to alpha square of A1. Until up to so on, if you proceed in this format, you will get the finite sequence of alphas in terms of A1, A2 up to so on. So that sequence here I am writing in this format. Alpha is equal to A1, A2, A3 up to so on A suffix n. Simply we are taking it as an equation number 3. Just here ఏం చేసామంటే సో A1 is equal to alpha power m A1. ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ లో ఈక్వేషన్ నెంబర్ 2 లో సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వీఆర్ టేకింగ్ m is equal to n. సో దాంట్లో m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to so on we are substituting the values. Okay, so then you will get this equation number 3 in terms of A1s. Okay, so equation number 3 represents a single cycle. Why? Because there is no distraction. Only we have one single cycle from A1 to A suffix n. There is no distraction between. Okay, so we have one single cycle. Hence, a permutation. What is that permutation? Alpha. Since a permutation of a finite set can be expressed as a cycle. That cycle is equation number 3. Therefore, alpha expressed by equation number 3. You have to remember like that. Next, that is about m equal to n case 1. Next, in case 2, I am taking m less than n. M less than n in equation number 2. Then there must be a repetition. Why? Because m and n are the different values. So some repetition will occur. That repetition I am taking it as alpha power I into A1 is equal to alpha power j into A1 for some I less than j. So now take A1 is equal to alpha power m A1 from since equation number 2, where you can write m is equal to j minus I. M is equal to j minus I. Since we have, if you take m is equal to 0, then j minus I is equal to also 0. Then I is equal to j. Then repetition occurs. So therefore, m is equal to j minus I. So therefore, A1 is equal to alpha power 0. So we are starting with m is equal to 0. So therefore, A1, m value 0, alpha power 0 A1. So A2, alpha power 1 A1. So A3 alpha square up to so on A suffix m alpha power m A1. So this is the finite sequence. Okay, so this is the finite sequence. The sequence is obtained as, here you can write this total sequence. Here also alpha is there in the RHS. Okay, in this RHS we have alpha. So that alpha I am representing with alpha 1. So alpha 1 is equal to, in LHS values A1, A2 up to so on A suffix m are there. So I am writing in the pair format. Okay, alpha 1 is equal to A1, A2, A3 up to so on A suffix m. That is taken as equation number 4. Equation number 3 is alpha. Equation number 4 is alpha 1. Okay, the total process is same. So equation 4 represents, again it is a single cycle. like equation number 3. Let, okay, this is up to alphas based on the A1, A2. Now I am taking another element. Let B1 be an element of A which is not present in first cycle. Okay, why? Because the first cycle means this one and this one. Okay, there is no B1. We have all A1 elements only. Okay, so that is alpha 1 first cycle. Now I am writing that first element is B1. That is trivial. Next second element is B2. B2 is equal to alpha into B1. B3 is equal to alpha square B2. Up to so on. The sequence obtained by B1, B2 up to so on B3 is a finite sequence. Why? Because B1 is also depending upon the A and A belongs to capital A. So therefore, so you can write the total set B1 is equal to A power K into B1 for some small k value. Here the first and second cycle does not contain common elements. This is the second cycle. Okay, the first and second cycle does not contain common elements as they are disjoint cycles. So therefore, if alpha power I into A1 is equal to alpha power j into B1 for some I not equal to j, whenever they doesn't have any common cycles, then you can write this representation. From this representation, send this alpha power j to LHS. Okay, because that is in the multiplication in RHS, it goes to LHS, it goes to denominator. So therefore alpha power I into A1 by alpha power j into B1. So next send this term to numerator, then you will get alpha power I minus j into A1 is equal to beta 1. Here you can compare on both sides. Here nothing is there means you can write 1. That one you can write alpha power 0. Okay, that one you can write alpha power 0. In RHS you have alpha power I minus j. So bases same, then powers you have to equal. So therefore 0 is equal to I minus j. So therefore I is equal to j. Whenever you have I is equal to j, simultaneously you can say that A1 is equal to B1. Okay, A1 is equal to B1, which is contradiction. Why? Because we took B1 as a different element from A. So that means, but here we got A1 is equal to B1, which is contradiction. So therefore, now the second cycle is alpha 2. B1, B2 up to some B suffix k, that is taken as equation number 5. Similarly, third cycle will be of the form alpha 3, that is in terms of C's. C1, C2 up to some C suffix s, that is taken as equation number 6. The process continues. The third cycle is alpha 3, fourth cycle is alpha 4, fifth cycle is alpha 5. In this format, if you proceed, okay, if you take cycles, you have to change the variables also, B1, C1, D1, E1 in the format. Multiplying equation 4, 5, 6. What is the equation 4? Alpha 1. Equation 5, alpha 2. Equation 6, equation of the alpha 3. So therefore, if you multiply them, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Okay. So, and if alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, the product of these three cycles, if you take alpha is equal to alpha, that means, what is that alpha? Alpha is the permutation. In that permutation only these cycles exist. Therefore, if alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 is equal to alpha, then alpha is equal to, this one is the alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. This one is the first cycle. Okay. This one is the first cycle. And this one is the second cycle. And this one is the third cycle. Each and every cycle contains different elements. There is no repetition of the numbers. Okay, then you can say that there is no common element in them. So then equation number 7 represents that. Okay, it can be seen from equation number 7 that the permutation of capital A, what is that permutation? Alpha. That permutation of capital A, that is alpha, is a product of disjoint cycles. That is the equation number 7. If there are small n number of disjoint cycles, we calculated up to third cycle. If you proceed fourth, fifth up to some small n, because capital A is the finite set having small n elements. If you proceed small n number of disjoint cycles, then alpha contains A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B up to some B suffix k, C1, and the last one is the D1, D2 up to some D suffix n. So therefore, these are the first cycle, second cycle, third cycle. This one is the nth cycle. So this is the permutation alpha. Alpha is the permutation, can be expressed as a disjoint cycles, small n number of disjoint cycles. So therefore, hence every permutation of a finite set can be expressed as a product of disjoint cycle in this format. Okay, so if you take any permutation, that permutation we can express it in terms of disjoint cycles. What is the use of this disjoint cycles? Why we have to divide that permutation into disjoint cycles? That means the use of the disjoint cycles is to find the order of the permutation. Okay, so you have to write down the lengths of the disjoint cycles. After writing the lengths of the disjoint cycles, you have to take the LCM of the lengths, then LCM value is the order of the permutation. To get the order of the permutation, we have to divide the permutation into disjoint cycles. Disjoint cycles is nothing but there is no common element between them. Okay, all the elements are different and all the cycles, sometimes same length cycles will be repeated, but sometimes you will get the different length cycles. So anyhow, the permutation can be written in the form of disjoint cycles. Okay, so this is the one of the important theorem from the theory of properties. This question has come in the examination 2022 June July. So I hope you understood this theorem very well. Okay, make a perfect practice, prepare well. Until bye, thank you.